when Betty was growing up. She had a bow leg, which we expect to be getting straight as she's growing up.
Yeah. Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Betty Odumoso. If you're new here, you're welcome. On this channel, I film about my adulthood by sharing with you content that cuts across interviews, social events, my life as a media girl, my family, my personal experiences and opinions, and just literally everything that relates to me as a young adult growing up here in Nigeria. So, the purpose of my content is actually to inspire, motivate, educate, and sometimes entertain you. So yeah, you're welcome to today's video. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my experience as a kid growing up with the Osgood Schalatter disease. Yes, you heard me right. So, the Osgood Schalatter disease is one that is known to affect kids, young kids who are growing really fast, who have growth spurt, and also kids that are active um, in sport. But for me, it wasn't the former. It wasn't the latter, rather. It's the former. It's the first one. I was not an active kid in sports growing up. So, that couldn't have been the cause. So now I don't even know where to start from the whole genesis of everything. That's why I got my dad and my mom to actually talk about the whole experience from their own perspective. I was way younger, and I think I can remember from when I was about age 7, 8. Yes, so at that time I began to experience serious knee pains. Like, my knees really used to hurt as a kid. It used to hurt me so bad that I would cry for nights. I would really cry for nights because of the severity of the pain that I was going through. So I remember then I just realized that I couldn't do certain things as a kid. As a young kid, I couldn't kneel, I couldn't bend, I couldn't stand straight, I couldn't walk straight. I had difficulty in walking straight as a kid. I was usually in pains, and that was the beginning of my troubles as my parents took me from one hospital to the other. At first, it was my dad, and then later on, my dad had to go away from us to serve the country. He was posted out of Lagos. So it was just my mom and I remember every Wednesdays used to be my appointment day at the hospital. We'd leave home very early in the morning just to go to National Hospital in Igbobi. And reason because there are always so many people. God, see that experience. That was another story for another day. Like, the experience of having to see people at the hospital. That's another thing. Let's just keep that aside. So, the pains started from me not being able to do things that every other kid could do, and then I noticed that my kneecap was swollen. I had swollen kneecaps. They're still swollen till date, but without pains. Like, I had swollen kneecap. I was usually in pain. Like, it was really terrible because it got me a lot of names. Actually got called names by certain people. I remember there was this man one time who told me to my face that why was I acting like a grandmother? That I was a kid. Why was I walking as a kid? Why was I walking like a grandmother? That even grandparents wouldn't walk like that, bro. It touched my heart that day. I felt really bad. In my head, I'm like, I didn't bring this upon myself. Why would you talk to me that way? And as a kid, I used to be a child that didn't like to express my feelings to my parents and even other people. I usually confided in writing, which is why I had a diary. I had about three diaries growing up. It continued like that. Like, I was always in pain. Sometimes in the middle of the night, I can just wake up because I'm in pain, and I'll be crying. And then my mom will always be trying to massage it. Then we always make sure to have ice in the house because it used to like give me temporal relief at the time. Then also, like, my parents spent money. Honestly, they spent money. I remember this one time at the hospital when one of the doctors had said that we needed to get instant x-rays. After all the x-rays that we've done, do you know how many x-rays that we've been doing? You say you want instant x-ray. You don't want the ones that we brought. You need to see results. I was like, God. And then how much did it cost? I think it cost about eight k or so, 8,000 or four. I can't remember, but I know we had to do for both knees. And my mom didn't have the money at the time on her, and she was not with the ATM. I think she didn't have the money on her, and there was no way. It's not like now that there's POS here and there. And I don't know. At that day, she was not with the money, and there was no way for us to get the money. We didn't know anybody at the hospital, and so my mom left me at the hospital and went back home to get the money. Oh God, that single experience, it just got me emotional. As I sat at the hospital waiting for her, I was just filled with so much sadness. I felt guilty. Also, I was like, why should it be because of me that they are spending this much money? Like, I felt really bad that I had to miss school every Wednesday because of the appointment. And this went on and on for years. And the fact that I couldn't have my bath with cold water too, that was another. See, everything, different things just. Ah, God, those days were very dark years. Those years were very dark years for me because I was always feeling sad at the fact that why couldn't I just be a normal kid? Why couldn't I be a normal kid? I remember then when I was resuming to school one day, I had to go in bandage. It was oh God, and this bandage room was after the bandage part was after I finally got to see the head of physiotherapy, if I'm not mistaken. Was it physiotherapy in Igbopi? Which was what the head of one department, like the Oga Patapata of the department. He was an Indian man, Dr. Alimi. I think I still remember his name, Dr. Alimi. So he was the one that spoke to my mom, and then he suggested surgery at the time. I can't remember what it is that I told my mom was the reason why we had to do surgery. But hey, at that point, I was like, surgery? Why would I be doing a surgery at my age? Why? Why? I felt really sad. I was sad and scared at the same time. Because God, please. But then, after a couple more appointments, the doctor now said, okay, that my mom should get bandages. They were going to do something on me. It was not going to be surgery, but they needed the bandages, syringes, and a couple of other things to do some things on me. So the day came finally, and this man, I don't know what it was that he extracted, but that very day, which was my last day at Igbobi Hospital, was when he extracted something from my kneecap. I don't know what it was, but then the thing looked like Lakasara and Ororo to me at the same time. I don't know whether to call it fat. I don't know. I can't. My parents tell me like the memory is kind of faint now, but I vividly remember them extracting things from my kneecap, which seemed like oil to me. It was very golden yellow in color. It was golden, and after he extracted that from my knee, I was on bandage for like the next couple of months. I was wearing bandages, and then I was told that I couldn't have my bath properly. I had to be sitting. Thanks to my sister who helped me through that period, I had to be sitting on stools to have my bath because water was not supposed to touch the bandage. And after that, the pain did not totally go away, but there was a huge difference and relief for me because at least I was beginning to walk, better than I used to. I didn't have to slouch again like before. It was really bad. When I later saw pictures, I don't know, I'll try to see if I can get pictures to show. And I later saw pictures that I took in that period. I don't say God, true. I was like my knee was literally bent. But we just thank God for the whole thing because looking back at it now, it's easy for me to like look back and be thankful. But then it was not funny and it was not easy physically, mentally, financially. It wasn't easy at all, at all. So now I'm just going to ask my parents to what their experience was to at that time. How was it for them? Seeing me go through that that period of pain. Yeah.
When Betty was growing up, she had a bow leg, which we expect to be getting straight as she is growing up. And that's exactly what actually happens. But where we discovered the knee pain, it was one day while she was playing with others. Then we just discovered that she was a sort of bending on one of the leg. She could not stand straight on it. And then I called the attention of the mother to it. I said, look at this girl, what happened to her leg? She could not really stand straight on that leg, bending. And that's where we started to nurse the leg pain. Actually, we were unhappy to see it that day, because it's not something that we envisage or that we expect. But after that day, she was taken to hospital, and we were referred to. Actually, I was serving in my 81 Div Garrison that time, so we took her to the hospital at Obalinde in Lagos there, and from there they refer us to military hospital Ikoyi. And when we got to the military hospital Ikoyi, she was not that same day that it happens, but in one of the days, and she was examined. The doctors used some languages that they which I could not really understand, but what they are saying is that something went wrong with the knee that makes it to a sort of not allowing her to stand straight on the leg. So I think they give her drugs on that day. They prescribed drugs for her, and she was, yes. But after that period, as the legs she continued to have the pain again, and that's when they now still refer her to Igbobi Orthopedic Hospital. And they were attending the Igbobi Orthopedic Hospital for some time. Then the issue subsided. It subsided a little bit. But once in a while, she feel pains on the knee, and already she has a drug that they say she should be taking, which she was taking on it. So it's not that she was born like that. She was not born with that pain. That we are very sure of it. And as she was growing up, we didn't notice it until that particular day that I said I saw her bending on the leg. But at the time we were visiting the military hospital, the cost implication was not so much, because the military was a sort of our base, where for us and our family we can attend, and then they will take care of us without even paying. But when the going to Igbobi Orthopedic starts, I know it has a little bit of cost implications. But the mother was the one, because me, I was somehow so much engaged in military duties. So it is the mother that was going with her to Igbobi Orthopedic Hospital, and thank God that at Igbobi Orthopedic Hospital, since their main duty is on bone issue concerning bones in the leg, they are able to take care of it, and then I believe there's a great improvement. There's a great improvement. Nobody that loves any form of a deformity on his or her child, and seeing something getting better brings joy to us, that at least she has overcome that part of issues that want to bring a sort of deformity to our legs. So we're happy. We give God all the glory that he took really charge of it, and he took control, and then the leg is getting back normal. At that time, we thank God that at the time we were visiting the military hospital, the cost implication was not so much because the military was a sort of our base where for us and our family we can attend, and then they will take care of us without even paying. But when the going to Igbobi orthopedic starts, I know it has a little bit of cost implications. But the mother was the one, because me, I was somehow so much engaged in military duties. So it is the mother that was going with her to Igbobi Orthopedic Hospital. And thank God that at Igbobi Orthopedic Hospital, since their main duty is on bone issue concerning bones in the leg, they are able to take care of it. And then I believe there's a great improvement. There's a great improvement. It's a big joy to us because actually there's nobody that loves any form of a deformity on his or her child. And seeing something getting better brings joy to us, that at least she has overcome that part of issues that want to bring a sort of deformity to our legs. For parents, parents should be very, very much, they should be very observant and in taking quick actions on whatever they see on their children, which they have not been seen before. We should not just see anything and then look away from it and say, it doesn't matter. No. Anything concerning the body, physical fitness of the body, or physical structure of the body is very, very much important. And when we see it, we should not just take it with a sort of carelessness. We should just take immediate action on it, and that is to seek the attention of medical experts.
I actually thank God Almighty for this conversation of this period, because it's a thing of joy that someone can share with people outside there, for them to know that if any of their child have any challenge, it's never the end. Actually, we discovered that Betty was having a bow leg actually, but the bow leg was not up to the level of what she would now experience later when she was growing up. Something grew to the extent that one leg was shorter than the other, and it used to undergo some serious pain to the extent that we had to be taken her from one place to another. So the last place we went last was at orthopedic, and that orthopedic was, in fact, a tedious one that we left Ota Ikusi very early in the morning. Getting there, it was late. We have been told that we came late. We went back again, come back again. The following day, slept with somebody's house within the premises. And thank God we were able to see the doctor that day. After the doctor came, I cannot remember the name of that doctor again, at the orthopedic hospital there. She was ushered in to come inside. After going inside, I started hearing my baby's voice shouting, screaming. I was forced to stood up where I was sitting down to go inside. Entering to the place, the doctor asked, "Madam, what is happening?" I said, "Don't worry, your daughter will be fine." At the end of the day, I was allowed to enter partially. Entering, and I saw she lie down on their bed there. And before she came inside, I was asked to go and buy some medical materials to be used. I never knew they were going to inject a nail. That fateful afternoon, when I brought and I came down with the medical materials, entering to the room with the doctor, the next thing I heard was my baby was screaming.
As a mother, I couldn't cope. I struggled to enter. The doctor allowed me to enter. Entering into the room, so the other story. My daughter lied down on the bed there. They inserted the syringe on her leg, and something like groundnut oil was being extracted from her nail. After let me say the scenario, the exercise, the doctor extracted the liquid fall from her nail inside the bottle that looked exactly like groundnut oil. I was not imagining that is this thing being brought up from. The whole show was over. We have been given some drugs to go and buy some drugs. We bought some drugs. She was using it. It was not the drug that healed her really. It was God that paved the way for us to be able to see the doctor. After seeing the doctor, started praying, and from then, to God be the glory. Everything went fine. Because before she had to be leaping, and when she's walking, you know that this leg are not balanced. But thank God that today that leaping legs with my daughter then became straight in, and today she can walk fine. So what do I have to tell parents, especially mother outside there, was that when all these things were happening, the father wasn't around. The father was, is it Liberia or Ibadan? The mother was not around with us. We are the only one. I was the only one with her then. I passed through a lot, but thank God today that to God be the glory. It has turned to a good and wonderful story. So my mother's outside there. Is there any other child there having a challenge? Don't be discouraged. Put your trust in the Lord. Pray to God, and you should not forsake the physical aspect of issue in life for our children. That if something is wrong with your child, you are now overlooking at it. You are praying. Prayer is to do His own work, and the medical aspect of it will do His own way. Thank God Almighty that at the end of the show, my baby's leg was straightened. She can now walk majestically like a good girl, like a good lady, like the first lady. God bless you. I appreciate your effort. You're welcome.
With that, we've come to the end of today's video. I do hope that you've been able to learn a thing or two from the whole experience. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Do you know anybody who has had similar symptoms, or have you also had to go through a period of pain that cost you a lot mentally, physically, emotionally, and otherwise? Let me know in the comment section. See you next week. Bye bye.